Welcome to the second episode of Tony Carrini Not Live. Thanks to everyone who watched the first episode and reached out to me to let me know it made you smile during all of this. And then there was my friend Kathy who said she laughed and cried. I'm just hoping there were tears of relief that I'm finally doing a show for you. So if you didn't watch the first episode, shame on you. Shame on you. All right? Say 2 Hail Marys, because Lord knows we need them right now, and go watch the episode, all right? Head on over to TonyCarrini.com. You'll find that episode. You'll find this episode, some of my older videos on there, and hopefully soon, upcoming shows where I'll be live on stage performing stand-up. You know, so that you can message me right before I get on stage, letting me know that, yeah, I wish I could be there, but I'll come watch you next time. Okay, moving on. So unlike the first episode, you may have noticed during the intro that we have guests today, real guests. I'm excited. I'm so happy that I don't have to do all those other versions of me. Well, maybe 1 or 2 of them will come back later, but we've got guests. So joining us today is going to be my beautiful, hilarious Jersey girl wife, Christina Carrini. And also joining us is friend and fellow comic, Joe Monico. All right? But first, let's get to what's happening in the world now. So we're in the middle of Lent, and like most parishes, including mine, they've begun posting Sunday Mass online, forcing Catholics to now come up with new reasons to not attend Mass. So you're tuned into this, but not into Mass. I think you really need to start asking yourself, what's going on with your life, you know? Just gonna put that out there. Well, so many Americans now are working from home. Video conferencing has become the new norm and forcing us to constantly hear, you're on mute. I mean, how hard can it be? There's a microphone, there's a red line through it. That means you're on mute, all right? Stop playing on your phone when you're on conference calls. We can see you because there's a camera, all right? Seriously, you can do it. I have faith in you. And you know what? I really don't want to see all your pets. Okay, fine. I want to see the puppies. Bring all the puppies you want, but no to cats. No to cats. And families have also started using video to connect with loved ones because we're all self-quarantined. And so, you know, there's been some hilarious results.
Now, where are you? I hear your voice, but I don't see your face.
That's her.
Come on then. Bom te ver.
No, Mom, that's her because she doesn't know how to use her phone.
Hi. Your phone is black.
What you do?
Fina l'apple. Okay. Te la petto, fino.
She's right there, Ma. She's right there.
She's right there.
Okay, I see now, cugnata. Very good. Tommy.
Yeah, that was my family earlier today. God, I love them. And I miss them. And hopefully we can get together soon. So let's get to my first guest, my wife, Christina Carrini. Let's see if Chris is awake so she can be on my show. Honey, do you want to be on my show now? You want to be interviewed? Okay, I'll come back. Bye. Luna? No? Okay, bye. I get the feeling that she wasn't quite ready. Let's see now. Honey?
What?
You want to be on my show?
Seriously? Get out.
Bye. Okay, let's give her another minute, shall we? So while we're waiting for Christina, did you hear that I was a guest on my first podcast? Yeah, I was on Pod Clubhouse's Love It or Leave It, and it was such a thrill because I got to do it with friends Mike and Sheila. So head on over to TonyCarrini.com. You'll see it right on the homepage, and we're going to be talking about Amazon's Hunters. It's the one with Al Pacino in it. It's find out if we love it or leave it. All right. Okay, let's check in on Christina again. Chris, 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 I'm gonna get you. You're gonna be on the show, Chris. Come on. Wait. I'm hearing we're able to finally get that chat with Christina. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife, Christina Carrini. So I had to go to Christina's happy place in order to interview her. So we're here in bed. Luna's at the bottom of our feet, and
she's on my feet.
She's on your feet. So so that I can get Christina to be my first guest. So you saw the struggle, right? Started in bed, so I just figured might as well just.
Are you wearing a blazer in my bed?
I am wearing a blazer. Don't worry about it. I Lysoled it before I came in.
Oh.
So that's what you're smelling right now. Yeah. So what do you think of the show? Like, did you like the first episode at all? Did you really watch it?
I really watched it in pieces, not the full thing. I don't have that attention span. I have very little attention span.
But you had a laugh?
You always make me laugh.
Oh, thank you, honey. I appreciate that. You know what? I found out something interesting today. I found out that.
By the way, if you love my hair color, Danny did it, and because I'm just looking at my hair colors, they did a fabulous job.
So before we knew we were gonna be quarantined.
No, I knew we were gonna be quarantined.
So what did we do?
A hair appointment.
That's right. We went and got our hair done
because it will not have roots.
No self-respecting Jersey girl would go into quarantine without right. Exactly right. So you told me something funny today.
I'm admiring my hair. It's like Medusa. Go ahead. I told you what.
This is my life every day, by the way.
It's all about the hair.
It is about the hair. So you told me something funny earlier today, because I was like, hey, people know how we met. But then you told me something I didn't know. You told me a story.
Oh, I forgot what your name was. And when I met you and your brother at the same time. And one of my cousins said to me, the one with a dot on his head is Anthony, and the other one is the Guido is Frank. So,
yeah.
Sorry, Frank, but you brought that upon yourself. Anyway.
And this is my mother's fault, so that's why I have my mom.
Everything is your mother's fault.
That's true. Thank you, Dr. Freud. So what's it like, being stuck at home with me every day? And Luna, of course.
Luna keeps my feet warm. I take a nap. But with you, I'm home with you all the time.
It's not that bad, right? It's not really that different for us.
No, I always feel like I'm trapped.
But you know what the cool thing is, though? You've been getting really awesome texts from your niece. Or I should say our niece.
No, she's my niece. Yes, because she just wants to go shopping.
Right. She's definitely a mini you, without a doubt.
So, yeah, well.
Yeah. So we have two nieces and two nephews. We have a pair that are teenagers now, and then we have a pair that are. Wait,
Frank is a teenager?
He's close. Well, okay, he's 11. Okay, we have one teenager, one who's 11, and then we have two of them that are. We're gonna do it all over again because
I'll be 90 by then.
By the time, they're 12, but they're only 2 and 1 now. So we love that, and then we have a bunch of godsons and.
Oh, stop touching my face! I can't do it. I just can't do it.
You can't stop touching your face?
No, my house is clean.
But you're home. I mean, this place smells like a hospital. All right, so we're totally fine. We are absolutely fine. My parents live with us too, so we have to be mindful of them because they are in that category. But they're safe because Christina has Lysoled every inch of this freaking house. But
alcohol.
What's your secret?
Alcohol.
No, I mean the stuff that you drink, or.
No, I don't drink.
This is true.
Oh, I wonder if I could use that stuff that's lying around.
No, you can't. They said that the only thing you could use is Everclear, but Mom uses it to make limoncello.
She'll never know.
You can't take my mother's Everclear.
Phenomenal. I'm going to put that in the spray bottle.
Listen, if we take a survey now, people are going to be like, survey, do you want it in a spray bottle or in limoncello? Limoncello's going to win.
They're not coming to my house. I don't care.
This is true. You guys have to stay away from the house. And once the quarantine is over, you're still not coming to the house. This is Christina's.
Ironically, I host one holiday a year, and there is a plague. That's how much I love having guests.
Yeah, so if you haven't figured out, it's Easter. And we're going to decorate this weekend, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, I love Easter
And we're going to have
decorations.
my parents for Easter because, you know, they live here.
Well, they'll complain that they have to come up the stairs, so we'll probably be downstairs.
No. We'll push them up the stairs. Dad'll come up and we'll push mom up the stairs. So it'll be fine.
It'll be interesting.
So, have you been like, so what are the things that you've been doing that like, it's a little bit different? So tell us, like, how's your job going now that you are trapped at home?
Virtual workshops for WW.
So if somebody wants to attend like a Weight Watcher meeting with you hosting, can they still do that? Can people register now?
Yes.
Cool.
You can go to www.com and buy a monthly pass. And if you're watching this, you probably know how to reach me anyway, and I'll just give you the rest of the details. But
Or you can go to TonyCarrini.com, message me.
There you go.
And you can get a hold of Chris. I actually go to her Sunday morning sessions. And if you come to that session, it's usually a lot of fun. And we're using Zoom right now, right?
Yes, we're Zooming all our meetings.
So that's a good time.
All our workshops. So it's kind of interesting, but it's nice seeing everybody because you miss them after a while.
So anything else you want to share on this second episode of Tony Carrini Not Live?
Oh, I don't know if there's going to be a third episode with me because my boots will all be growing in by then.
We'll wear baseball caps so that episode.
And I'll need a manicure, and I need one now. I don't know. Everybody just stay safe, and eventually you'll be able to get to an airport and leave.
We have to plan, right? So, because I mean, you've got a birthday coming up later this year that we're gonna go do something.
I'm hoping I get like the post-coronavirus rate.
Nice. That's very Sicilian of you, by the way.
Yes.
That's great. Well, thank you, Christina, for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Can I get a kiss?
Well, can you get that jacket out of my bed now? Bye.
Thanks again, Christina, for finally finding time to chat with me, your husband. All right, let's go on to our second guest, Joe Monico, who I feel we're going to have a better time getting a hold of. So, hey, guys, here we are with my friend and fellow comic, Joe Monico. How's it going, Joe?
Good. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I mean, this is episode 2. We're excited. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where this goes down the road. How are you dealing with the quarantine? Like, how's life treating you over there?
You know what? It's funny because my life hasn't really changed that much. I'm not going to say where I work, but I work for a retailer that is considered essential, meaning we sell like one essential product amongst a ton of non-essentials.
Right.
So I'm still going to work every day. I'm still, out there, working with customers, working with employees. So not much has really changed other than not being able to like go to the movies. I'm not like a streamer. Like I don't really stream on on the computer or anything like that. Like I'm like an old person in that sense. Like I go to the movies still. I don't know how to operate Netflix. Like I'm a very old soul like that. So I love going to the movies.
So one of the things I like when I'm talking to people on there, like I want to share, like, how do we know each other? Like, how did we meet?
Okay. So we met, what is it, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago, February. Yeah. No, 2 years ago, January, because our gig was February. So yeah, January.
Yes. So we met, we both took a comedy class and in New York City. And so I don't know why you took it. I took it because I wanted to do something fun. Right. So I wanted to do something that was kind of like something on my bucket list that like scared me a little bit. So that's why I was there. And we met through that class, and then we, we're talking, helping with material and all that stuff. And then we did our big showcase in February. And then it's been history ever since.
I mean, and so like, since, you asked, like, you weren't sure why I did it. I had been thinking about it since I was your age, and I was so like excited to see people your age in there thinking like, there's braver than I am, because they're actually doing it when I thought of it 20 years ago. And I'm so glad to have met you and the others in the room. And there's some of those people in that class, I mean, honestly, were hilarious. Just right. Really great comics in that class. And I remember, because I remember going up to you one of the first times, and I remember saying to you, I love your rhythm. Do you remember me telling you that?
Yes, I remember. It was you and one other person, and like it was before class had started, and I walked in, and you were like, we were just talking about you, and I'm like, oh shit. And you told me it was good stuff, so we were good.
Yeah. I mean, and the great thing is so Joe and I did a show where we had all our family and friends. It was our first time on stage back in, like we said, in 2018. And we've done a couple of shows since then together as well. But that first show, my family, I had a bunch of family there, friends, and they're like, you were great, but that kid Joe. And I'm like, yeah, I know. The kid Joe, great, yeah. And they really loved seeing you on stage, to the point where when I was at the club again, they're like, wait, is Joe going to be there? I'm like, I think Gaffigan or Seinfeld might show up. But like, yeah, but will Joe be there? I'm like, yes, Joe will be there. Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
So Joe, one of the cool things, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you too, was you did something pretty awesome over the last couple of months. You went on a road trip with your partner from coast to coast. Did I get that right?
Yes. So we started in Salem, Massachusetts. And then we went all the way to San Francisco, and then back, and then we went like south a little bit. But yeah, it was coast to coast.
So tell me one of the like crazy or fun things that happened on the road trip.
So, well, first, initially, the reason why we did this was because, this whole mindset of life is super short. And I remember being in my office at my previous job, and it was one of those where like I was always stressed, I was always miserable. And it was one of those moments of just being like, there has to be more to life than this. And then that's when, he wasn't working, I wasn't working, because I quit that job, and we were both like, why can't we do it? So anyway, one of the really interesting things about the traveling was Airbnbs. So we stayed in Airbnbs for like all of the different places that we went to.
Sure.
We stayed in a hotel in Florida, and that was it, because we couldn't find any Airbnbs that weren't death traps. So it was interesting because just the different amounts of like care that you get between Airbnbs. Like some people will invite you in like they're your family,
Right.
Like I walked in on one of them in the shower, they like invited me in, like it was very like, we did like Sunday pasta with them. It was very like. But then you get some of them where like this woman's like literally putting down like coasters for us to step on in her house because like she didn't want us touching anything. She was Lysoling after us. So it's the difference in the level of people's comfort with you coming into their home.
Right.
Is incredible. And then also like the detail some people put in, like this one house, like she had like, waters for us and like, Cheez-Its. And then one of them was like a dungeon in this woman's basement that he stayed in. Like the TV was out. It was literally cement walls. Like it was like 4x2 area. It was the smallest thing in the world. So it's incredible to just stay at an Airbnb because it's just such an interesting experience.
So I've done a couple of Airbnbs. I've never stayed in one where the owner was there. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, so wait, when you did Airbnbs, did you rent the whole place or just a room?
No, I did the whole place, right. So that's what it is. Yeah, you did the room.
Yeah, so we just did like a little room, so it was like super cheap.
Right.
But that's when like we would have like the owner there, and then the owner's cats were there, which actually was super fun. I made friends. But yeah, so it's a totally different experience when you just rent their room.
Oh my God. So I can only imagine, like, did you just get inspired with new material because of that road trip?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I literally just had like a notebook with me the whole time, and just the amount of crap you see is just material galore.
Like, so are you doing stuff on social? Are you posting anywhere?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like how you because I'm doing this show because I need to do something. I just can't sit here and do nothing for the next couple of months. So what are you doing to get that outlet, that creativity out there?
No, same. If I have to do something, because especially with like, I use comedy to like vent and as like my form of therapy.
Right.
So if I cannot get that relief from like work or like from people in my life, I will go crazy. So what I'm doing is actually for the first time, because I wanted to do like open mics, but of course, they're all shut down. So what I'm doing is actually this Saturday is my first one. But I'm doing a like Facebook Live comedy show.
Nice.
We're gonna see how that goes because I've actually never used Facebook Live before. I told you I'm an old soul. I do not do technology. But We're gonna see. You actually introduced me to Zoom, so here we are. But yeah, so I it's going to be an interesting experience. But yes, I'm doing a Facebook Live comedy show this Saturday on my
Nice.
Facebook page. So yeah.
Great. So it's going to be the 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern?
Yes.
Because, I've got such a huge following. I got to give the right time zone because I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Of course, I wanted to make, I let my Twitter following know too, all 56 of my followers. They're there, they're on it, they're good.
I mean, when you're not tweeting about Survivor, I mean, it's Survivor, right? Isn't that the one you like? Am I right?
It is. I've had people block me because I do post a lot. I am a huge Survivor fan. I love watching it. I love tweeting about it. I love fighting with people about it. So yes, I do warn everyone who follows me on Twitter that, which probably is why I only have 56 followers.
So my favorite Survivor story is when the first season or two of Survivor, so like 17, 18 years ago, whatever it was, I had a female coworker and she found out that two of the women on the show posed in Playboy. Okay.
Yes, that was season 2. It was Jerry and I forget the other name of the girl, but yes.
So she's like, you need to go pick up a copy for me because I won't go buy it. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, we're in New York. She goes, no, I won't do it. I'm like, fine. So like, it's like my lunch hour and I'm going and I'm walking back into the office with a brown paper bag that did not look good. And I'm like, HR is going to come down on me. She's like, thank you so much. I'm like, I want to see now. I'm like, if I'm going to go get it for you, at least let me see what's going on,
Right,
I didn't watch the show.
No, that's so funny.
So with comedy and all that, so like, who are some of your comedy heroes? Like, who do you like look up to that inspire you to do comedy?
Okay, so my number one hero of comedy is Joan Rivers. I loved her, just everything about her. I loved how bold she was. I loved how funny she was. And even just in general, one of the things she inspired me about was that and it's the whole reason I have a tattoo of her on me. Not of her personally, but a quote by her. But
yeah, because I was going to say, was that pre-plastic surgery, post-plastic surgery? Which version of Joan?
Updating it. Yeah. It was very painful. But so it's because she's endured so much in her life with her husband dying, her show being, killing himself, and then her show being canceled. She just endured so much in her life, but she always found a reason to laugh and a reason to find humor in it. So she is so inspirational for me in that regard.
Right.
But other than that, my kind of comedic influences, I would say, like heroes, were mostly like TV shows and movies, to be honest.
Okay.
So obviously I watch stand-up comedy a lot. But for me, it was really like that physical humor of TV shows and movies. So my favorite movie ever is an 80s movie, which is Naked Gun.
I saw online that the Naked Gun that you mentioned on one of my Facebook posts that you love the Naked Gun, and that made me so happy. You have no idea, because I didn't know that about you, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love anything with him in it, Leslie Nielsen. But he's one of my comedy icons, my comedy hero. And then I love anything by the Wayans brothers. I loved, watching like George Lopez growing up. So it's really like TV shows and movies that really kind of influence me and my humor. But yeah.
That's funny. I think it's because I've always had a connection with you because I've always felt like we've been friends for a longer time, right? Yeah. And it's funny you say that because growing up for me, there were TV shows, and so like Three's Company, where it was a very physical comedy show, and I loved it, partly because I couldn't speak English that well, but still I loved the whole physical comedy of it. And the thing about movies like The Naked Gun and Airplane and any kind of those like anything from Mel Brooks. Those kind of films, I find them so intelligent because it's not easy to make people laugh. And in that film, I feel like you're laughing the entire time. Right?
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. It's hard to. One of the big things with comedy movies is that I find a lot of the time is that they start really strong and then they like lose it halfway through. So I give any comedy movie credit that can like keep a consistent laugh throughout the entire time, especially movies like Naked Gun or Airplane, because they're so random, but not random at the same time. Like it's random, but it's also humorous. It's not just them trying to throw random things at you and make you laugh and just see what happens. It's like a strategic randomness.
I like strategic randomness. I like that a lot.
Right. It's so funny though.
So Joe, you mentioned you're on social media. Where can folks find you?
So I am on Facebook. So I do have my comedy page, Joe Monico.
Great.
I am also on Instagram, Joe Monico as well, where I have a whopping 127 followers on there. So pretty proud of that.
And there's almost kind of like a diary of your road trip on Instagram, right?
Yes. So that's the cool part is if anyone, does want to check it out, I did post from like every different place that we went to, and you can kind of track through our entire, adventure saga, whatever you call it.
That's awesome. I love that you got all those social things, and it makes me feel better knowing that I got more followers than you, and I'm twice your age. So I'm not going to lie. So that just makes me feel so much better.
No, you
So,
should feel good.
So what we're going to do after this is Joe is going to do some stand-up for us, and I hope you enjoy it because I love seeing Joe do stand-up. And if you guys are around on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be on there. I'm going to be watching. So make sure you're there because it's definitely going to be a fun time with Joe. Joe, thank you so much for being on Tony Carrini Not Live Episode 2. Love having you on here, man. Best of luck.
No, thank you. I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much, Tony. And I love everything you do, so I will continue to watch. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. All right, take care.
So I get mistaken for being a woman, like a lot. And, after the first time, I was like, oh, like, they're just crazy. After the second time, I was like, well, I'm not wearing these pants anymore. But, after the 15th time, now I'm starting to think that, like, maybe it might just be me, like something I'm, like, putting out there that I just don't know what it is, like it's a mystery. But, I work in retail, right? So living the dream. And for some reason, it's, like, really bad with customers, Like, it's gotten so bad that, like, I answered a ma'am now, Like, someone called me sir for the first time the other day. Like, I cried. Like, it was bad. But, it's really bad with customers. Like, this one woman was checking out at the register, and my coworker asked her, like, oh, like, who helped you today? And the woman goes, oh, I don't remember his name, but it's, like, the boy who, like, acts like a girl. So I'm hearing this, right? And I'm pissed. But I'm mostly pissed because my coworker, like, immediately knows she's talking about, She's like, oh, that's Joe. But, I'm hearing this and I'm like, you know what? If I did not just get my nails done, right, I would have smacked her. But I didn't, right? It just took my purse and I left. But for some reason it's like really bad on the phone, because I do that like fake friendly customer service voice. It's like 3 octaves higher than my already high-pitched voice. So it basically like only registers for dogs. So this one woman calls and she wants to see if we have this item. And I'm like, oh yeah, we have it. So I hear her in the background go, hey dad, the woman on the phone just told me that they have it. So once again, I'm pissed. But I bite my tongue, right? Because mother raised me to be a lady. So, she comes back. She's like, we'll take it. And I'm like, great, hold on. So I turn to my coworker and I go, hey, the guy on the phone just said that he'll take it. And, I really hope you guys found that a lot funnier than she did. She was not a fan. But as annoying as it is, it really does come in handy sometimes, right? Like this one woman called and she wanted to see if we had this particular item in the store. And I'm like, oh girl, get your butt down here, like we have tons. So spoiler alert, we did not have tons. In fact, we had none. So she comes in and, of course we don't have it, so she's super pissed. So she marches up to the customer service desk with the I want to speak to a manager haircut, right? She like grew it on the way in. And, she starts going off on me. She's like, I have had the most stressful day ever. She's like, I had to wake up early for brunch. And then she like paused and I was like, oh, that's all you did today. Okay, just checking. And she goes, and then the woman on the phone here told me that you guys have this item. And it's not here. So, I have to be honest with her, right? Because it's my job. So I said to her, I was like, I am so sorry that happened to you. And, I like really drove home how manly I was, right? I like spit after I said it, right? It was like, that woman is fired. And, that's the story of how I got my coworker fired. So, not a proud story, but a story nonetheless. Anyway, thank you all so much.
Thanks, Joe, for the chat and for that hilarious set. Remember to tune in this Saturday, March 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Joe's going to be on Facebook Live doing a whole new set I'm really excited. Joe's always been one of my favorite comics, like I said before, and I guarantee you're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be there too. So definitely tune in at Joe's Facebook page this Saturday night. Well, that's it for the second episode of Tony Carrini Not Live. So I just want to thank again my guests, Christina Carrini and Joe Monico. And like last time, I hope you enjoyed it. And you get to share this with some friends, all right? Share it out there. Even if you hate it, share it anyway. I'm okay with it. I'm definitely okay with it. And remember, head on over to tonycarini.com to see the first episode and all my past videos as well, and to sign up for the newsletter. And guys, stay safe out there, like Christina said. And until we chat again, ciao.